So, welcome everyone to the Be the Glue series where we share short, casual, but impactful conversations with individuals who have been the glue by either bringing people together, ideas, efforts, you know, they create something meaningful and also navigate change. So, today I'm joined by Alana Cummings. Welcome, Alana. Welcome. She
Thank
is the
you.
former corporate leader turned coach and the founder of Super Bloom Coaching. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this juicy conversation. It got the wheels turning.
I know, right? We already got the wheels turning
We hit
before we
record.
record.
Love it.
So, okay. As you think about your work, empowering others to trust their intuition, right? And helping them align their moves towards a life that they truly want. What does glue mean to you?
Yeah. So I was thinking of the time I was the glue that brought things together. And I love this question because typically I would think about, oh, how am I the glue for other people? Until about a year and a half ago, when I realized I actually couldn't be the glue for anyone else until I learned to be the glue for myself. And it's really like a vow or a promise that I choose every single day. So the actual moment for me of the glue was when I walked away from corporate completely. So I had started in the New York City fashion industry, and then I worked in HR tech through multiple acquisitions, and eventually was part of a company that sold for over $1 billion. So I'm like, on paper, I'm looking successful, the story we're all told to chase, the titles. But inwardly, I was like fragmented and I was just feeling burnt out. But even not just burnout, it was like disconnected from who I really was. So I left that job because it was time. And I ended up getting another role, and that role wasn't a fit at all. But my mom had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer around the same time, and I was feeling, like the pressure that I was living in was just not okay. So I ended up being the glue for myself by quitting with nothing lined up, not knowing what I wanted to do, but all I had was trust and certainty that it would work out, and I gave myself permission to pause and kind of turn inward on who am I, like, outside of this title? What are my actual values? We talk about company values a lot, but like, what are Alana's values? And how do I lean back into my own intuition and spirituality? And that's when I really feel like I finally became the glue for myself.
I love that. I so many nuggets. I started taking notes down
Yay.
because I just love so many good nuggets. Being the glue for myself because I was feeling fragmented inside. Like that is so powerful in itself. And it's so interesting because right before we hit record, we were talking about how, people, I'll start having these conversations. Like I would love to have people come to the Be the Glue series and then they start to think and question themselves, well, how am I the glue? And they don't know how they are the glue. And I wonder, with what you just shared, is that the first step that, pausing, hitting the pause button? Because if you are being overwhelmed, stuck in what's happening in your life, career, whatever it's happening right around you, um, is it time to pause and go back to the basics and find that purpose again, right? Because it's really hard because we're all on the go on this hustle culture,
Totally.
constant go.
Yeah.
And it
You're
may
not
be
alone.
events like that, a family member needing a caregiver or needing support, and it takes you back to the basics.
Mhm. And you're thankful for those traumatic events or a health diagnosis because it does help you reset, and that there is a power in the pause that we tend to yell at ourselves for not being productive enough, or I got to be always doing something. But it's like, well, hold on a minute. What's really going on here?
Yeah. What are for the people that are listening? I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now, right? And, um, what are some things when you think about values? You mentioned going back to identifying the values that drive you, not the organization values, understanding like who am I? What are my values? Tell me more about that process that you went through that others can learn from that.
One of the big things that helped me is doing my own values. So I worked with a coach before I became a coach, and leaning into this idea of choosing authenticity over belonging. So meaning choosing what aligns with you over the need to fit in or be a people pleaser. And I always say I'm a recovering people pleaser, a recovering hyperachiever, right? The woman who just wanted to, make sure everyone else is good and then I can come last because I'll be okay. And I read some research about how chronic stress doesn't actually come from work or money or things like that. It actually comes from incongruence, meaning you are pretending to be someone that you aren't actually.
Mhm.
And that's when the nervous system is on fire. So, how in your daily life, just a simple question you can ask yourself is, where am I saying yes when I really want to say no? Right? Is it to an event? Is it to a job? Is it to a relationship? Is it to a friendship? Where am I saying yes when I actually want to say no? And just those little moments of being authentic, they start to build up and you will see like your nervous system start to relax.
I mean, I'm a recovering perfectionist myself.
Okay, girl.
So definitely a hyperachiever, definitely a people pleaser, but I think those are a little bit more manageable than the perfectionism part. But it's interesting what you said, something about being a culture fit and belonging. And looking back in my career, and I was actually telling my kids this the other day, especially my 11-year-old. You know, um, it's okay not to be a culture fit. And actually, looking back at my career now, I appreciate that I was not a culture fit, and I always considered myself a culture add. And I even bring that in interviews. Like, I will not fit the corporate, cookie cutter professional. I
Yep.
bring 3 different, cultures, from where I was born in Albania and where I grew up in Greece, and coming to United States with a very, very different, experience and different perspectives. So, it's gonna be very hard to fit. And that is, I always add that disruption is always part of me, and you are a disruptor. You've been a supportive Disrupt HR Rochester, sponsor for years. But how do you see yourself that, or support people in that culture fit versus culture add
I love that because you're showing that you're actually giving others permission to be their full selves at work when you show up as like, "Hey, this is all of me, and I can't guarantee that not all of me is gonna come to work." And I think that's I was lucky in my HR tech job to be able to show up as my full self at work, but some of the professionals that I coach now, they wanna fit this mold, and it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, right? And it's like, well, how can you bring little tidbits of you, little nuggets of you, so that you are still standing in your truth, but of course, being professional and respectful at the same time. So finding out your values is one of the biggest things. Like I always recommend having your top 5 values and saying, how can I bring this into work today? And even before a meeting, like who do I want to be on this meeting? And take before you even log on, taking a breath and saying, how do I want to be? Right? Not what am I going to do? What am I going to say? How do I want to be? Because there's an energy behind how you show up. And really, people are going to either resonate with that or they're not. So that's a quick tip that I help because we're human beings. We're human beings. We're not human doings.
Here's my daughter crashing.
Oh,
Okay.
hi. Hi,
We're
beautiful.
gonna cut this portion out.
Oh,
Because Ella just interrupted. We're recording right now. You're on camera. What do you need? My phone is not even me. Oh my goodness, go away. I am so sorry.
that's real life. Like that's real. Why? I don't think you should cut it out. I vote for no.
We're cutting it. It's o-
See, but that's interesting.
that it's my perfectionism.
Mhm. Mhm. You'll see. You'll sleep on it.
I'll sleep on it.
Pick on it. But that who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? Why not? That
That's
was
very interesting because the first initial thought is, okay, I'm recording. You're not being thoughtful or respectful, right? And then at the same time, it's like, okay, life is happening. It's in the work. I always talk about life being in the works, and this is part of being in the works, I guess.
yeah.
Right. So
And you're not responsible for me. You're not responsible for how I'm gonna react or not react to your daughter coming in.
very good point.
I
Very
I loved it.
See, so as a recovering perfectionist, my first thought is to say, no, this podcast or episode or whatever, it needs to be perfect. And to be that recovering perfectionist, truly, it's pausing and listening to what just happened, and even you saying, why not? Why cut it? And he's
Yeah.
like, well, why cut it?
Yeah. And it's so true because it's like whether you're at home or you're like for me starting a new career and deciding to quit, I instead of saying like, who do you think you are to do this, Alana? I had to reframe it and say, who am I not to do this? Everybody else,
Yes.
everybody can if anyone wants to quit their job and start a business, please, I think everybody, but who am I not to? Right? I have a message that I feel like God is having me get on stages and speak about. So I'm supported and guided and protected. So why not? So I think that happened for a reason. I know it
For
happened for
I I love it, and you know what you just said, I sat on launching in the works for 2 years. 2 years, I kept self-doubting myself, like, who is gonna hire me and who is going that self-doubt seeping through, different experiences and life traumas and all that, and one day I just said, "I'm just gonna go downtown and get a DBA." Doesn't even have to. I was finding all these reasons not to. I don't have an LLC, I don't have a website, I don't have, who I serve or my audience or whatever. And ended up one day, I'm like, I'm just doing it, pull the plug. And there's a lot of moments like that every day that even like starting these be the glue conversations, it was like, I don't want a full blown podcast. I don't need to have the perfect setup. It can be done through Zoom. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I love that you keep challenging me to keep
yes.
thinking of it.
Embrace,
So thank you.
embrace it. Embrace the messy. Life is messy. And
Oh
whoever's
yeah.
saying it ain't is lying, is a liar. And that's the people pleasing too, is what I've realized is people pleasing is actually like manipulation to get people to like you or see this image of you. And for me, I felt like I always had to be on and put together. And in coaching, we talk a lot about your full range as a person, right? Like I can be a messy tornado at certain times, and then I can be a very put together professional. But when you get me, you're getting all of me. So who knows what's going to come out?
Very true. And yet you just pivot. You just
Yep.
pivot as it comes.
Yep. Love it.
Oh my goodness. I can talk to you I feel like for every guest, I feel like we can talk forever. What are some things that you would want uh people that are listening to this to get out of?
Yeah. My advice would be, don't ignore the soul whispers, right? The little God winks or the universe nudges, however you want to call it. We are the experts of our own life. So really start to trust yourself because it is all on purpose. Like what just happened, it's all on purpose, right? And for anyone listening, my hope is that whatever you choose next blooms from within you, like not from pressure or expectation or anyone else's advice. Glennon Doyle, who wrote the book Untamed, I'm not sure if you read it, it's amazing. She says, I hope the rest of your life is your idea, right? Like it needs to be rooted in your authenticity and your truth,
Mhm.
aligned with your worth and really created from the inside out. That's how Super Bloom came to me. If I stayed in that corporate job and was in that burnout mode, it would have never came to me if I didn't pause. And I think you're allowed to change direction. You're allowed to be messy. You're allowed to prioritize things that you actually want to do over things that you don't want to do. So I think I would just have everyone ask, how are you maybe abandoning yourself and how can you stop doing that?
Love that. And where can people find you? So you're doing
Yeah.
keynote talks, you're doing coaching. Where can
Yeah.
people find you?
So I'm on Instagram, superbloom.coaching. So follow me there, DM me. I answer all my DMs. And superbloom-coach.com. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah, and do we have any like freebies or anything you want to share? We can definitely put the link and share with our HR audience.
Yeah, I have a free burnout quiz to see if you're on the edge of
Mm.
burnout, which unfortunately many of us are, and many women too. 1 in 4 women are leaving corporate due to burnout in 2025. So, yeah,
Yeah.
let's get ahead of it and not wait till we're
Yeah.
at that
Oh,
burning.
and HR people are there too. I mean, the amount of burnout right now, it's significant and HR, especially higher level HR professionals leaving their career. It's definitely a trend. So it's interesting to see. Yeah. And the other interesting part that at least I'm experiencing locally is people who have been 10, 15 years in their roles and they get laid off and they haven't nurtured their network. So they look back and they kind of feel even more stuck
Yeah.
because now they haven't been present locally or in networking events or HR events or anything like that. So now they feel like they haven't really built their network for the 10 years, 15 years that they were putting all of their eggs in that one basket of that one job.
Right. And then they almost feel like I've worked with several people who've gotten laid off or displaced workers, and you almost forget your skill set. You're like, "Wait, am I even good at this? Like, can I even apply to this?" And I'm sure you know the
Yeah.
statistics how women apply to jobs only if they have 60% qualification, whereas men wait, am I getting that right?
The
Wait.
opposite. Yes.
Yeah, wait.
Men will apply if they have 60% of the job. Just
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I was wait, that was wrong. And that's not a confidence thing, that's a, conditioning.
yeah.
That's our conditioning and our programming. So, I do a lot of mindset work to kind of get rid of the story you're telling yourself that is
Mhm.
no longer serving you. And I'm happy to if anyone's laid off, we can talk about some pro bono sessions because this is just groundwork that we all need to have, so
Yeah. Yeah, and encouragement and support. And I think this is where it's so important. Even if you haven't nurtured your network in the past 10, 15 years, it's okay. Start going back out there, start connecting, reach out to us. Like, I'm always being the glue. Like I always see like who do I need to connect you with? Go talk to people. And always you might find another nugget in your next conversation, and next conversation. So you never know what life will bring.
right, you're the super connector, and that's I feel like that's, like, the legacy that you will leave behind as well.
Thank you. I love talking to you and continue to connect and continue to build relationships. So, if you're watching this, follow Alana, reach out to her. We'll share the links below. Thank you for being part of this conversation, continuing being the glue.